1994 will be remembered as the year of the big one in California. We're not talking about an earthquake. This year, Acers did some shaking of their own. No one could find fault with the registration arrangements at San Diego's beautiful Hanalei Hotel. Acers enjoyed browsing the sales tables and admiring some collectible coaster memorabilia while anticipating the thrills of the week to come.
Tell us about CoasterCon 17.
Well, I think it's going to be very exciting. I think it's really great that we're going to be able to hit most if not all, the parks in the state of California. And a lot of great rides here. We've got two rides that are historical rides called Giant Dippers. I just think that everybody here in California is going to have a really good time. I think with our turnout here, everybody's going to get all the ride time that they want, and we'll just really have a good time.
What are you looking forward to on this convention?
Just about everything. This was special for me because I haven't been to San Diego before. This would be my first time here.
You came out here for the sun, fun, roller coasters?
So you were riding the Raptor in Cleveland yesterday, and here you're selling T-shirts in San Diego today.
I was riding Magnum last night at midnight.
Yeah.
I got about 3 hours sleep, and here I am.
If it's got any leaps and dips and hills, and it is called a roller coaster, we'll go for it.
Now, I can't explain the Ace people. Now, they're another breed, okay? But, no, all kidding aside, the Ace people really love roller coasters.
Ace President Ray Uberoth kicked off the week's events with the opening ceremonies.
Okay, welcome to CoasterCon 17. We have 17 roller coasters on our schedule this week, so it's going to be outstanding. First of all, I'd like to especially welcome all new ACE members who have joined in the past year. Would you raise your hand? ACE members the past year, welcome. Now, of all of you who are here, how many of you have never been to San Diego and ridden the Giant Dipper? Look at that, Ed. Look at that, Ed. Well, you have a big surprise in for you. I was over there this afternoon, and it's running the best I've ridden it. So we're going to have a great time at San Diego. Well, I'd like you to know that we have 303 people here at San Diego, that you are from 35 different states, including Hawaii, and that we have 2 ACE members here from England. I would like to welcome a very special speaker tonight. This is the first time I've seen him that he has a beard. He grew a beard after he retired as president of the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk Company. If you don't know him, he is one of the 2 men who formed the San Diego Coaster Company that put the money into the San Diego Giant Dipper to save it and reopen it. And he was telling me earlier that we all know more about roller coasters than he does, but I don't believe it because he's been running a couple of great ones for many years. I'd like to introduce to you Ed Hutton. Ed?
Thank you. We had a couple prizes here. Why don't you show them what that is? Maybe you and Jan could open that up. It's also a commercial. We were going to give those to Marie, what's her name? Marie and the fellows from England, but we can't find them. So that's just off the press of our Giant Dipper right here. And unfortunately, they're not available for sale. No, actually, you can buy them over there at our Coaster Museum if they do interest you. Anyway, I do want to welcome you to San Diego, to Giant Dipper roller coaster at Belmont Park in Mission Beach. Of course, Saturday night's our biggest night, so you're going to be sharing the ride with the general public. My manager hadn't planned to put 2 trains on. There will be 2 trains on starting at 7:30. She's young and naive and did not know a thing about these ACE people, you know what I mean? So Wendy Crane's her name, and anyway, we'll have 2 coasters on, 2 trains on at 7:30. Then you'll have your private ride time tomorrow from 10 to 11. With that, I think I've taken enough time. Did I miss anything? Okay, well, unfortunately, for those of you going to be in Santa Cruz, somehow they picked me as your speaker, so you're going to see me next Thursday night at your banquet. So I'll see you up there, too.
The only thing as near to the heart of an Acer as riding roller coasters is the great food that can be found at an ACE convention. Acers stayed for a quick bite before heading over to Belmont Park for Saturday evening ride time on the acclaimed Giant Dipper.
Hi, guys.
The Belmont Park Giant Dipper. A perfect place to begin a tour of some of California's greatest coasters. Finished in July of 1925, 2 months after the park's opening, this coaster has delighted riders for decades. This 2,600-foot long, 73-foot high Pryor and Church Woody was designed with two-seater cars connected with a ball and joint socket. This configuration was designed specifically for the Giant Dipper and enabled the coaster to have such sharp turns, a feature that is not prevalent in many modern coasters because the cost can be great. In the following years, the Giant Dipper was enjoyed by young and old alike. In the late 50s, the park came under new management. It was during this era that the park's name officially became Belmont Park, and the name of the Giant Dipper became simply Roller Coaster. The coaster's name was changed again in 1976 to Earthquake as part of a promotional contest, only to close later that year due to rising operating costs. In the following years, the coaster survived many of the city's attempts to tear it down, only to be set ablaze twice in February of 1981. In 1982, the owner of the coaster, William Evans, donated the coaster to the Save the Coaster Committee, an organization of activists and coaster lovers who, together with Morgan Manufacturing, the American Coaster Enthusiasts, and donations from many outside sources, have restored the coaster to the level of greatness it had enjoyed decades before.
I like going down that first hill and just going, wow. I like being thrown around because it gives me more excitement that way. That way I know I've been on it.
I remember that raspy voice on television.
No, they haven't showed up yet. They said let us ride.
Really?
They come from all over the world. What? Yes.
No, nobody's ever.
Did you ride it?
The roller coaster?
Yeah.
No, not big enough. Not big enough
Not big enough for this one yet.
Nope.
No? What did you ride?
Carousel.
Yeah? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah? What was your favorite pony?
They were horses.
Okay. How was it, guys?
Very good.
What's the best thing about it?
Twists, turns, action.
That's my favorite. I've been out here I was out here 4 years ago. I rode it 3 times, and I went wild over it. I enjoy it so much. It's the best coaster I've ever been on.
Now that you've ridden it, what do you think of it?
I love it.
You love it.
So does my chiropractor.
Fantastic. I really liked it, and it's a negative G's that I really hope to achieve more next time. There was a bounce that I really liked, you know?
About a 15 on 1 to 10, easily. Absolutely. A must ride. A must ride. A classic design. They may make them bigger, they may make them faster, but they're not designed like this. The acceleration, the deceleration, the curves, they don't build them like this anymore. You can build them 2, 3 times as high, but it's not the same. It's really not.
The feel, the historical aspect, a lot of it has to do with that. The location, I mean, you can't get any better than this. The oceanside. Great weather today. I mean, this is the sound, you know, the smells. Love it.
Any acer would have trouble leaving a great coaster like the Belmont Park Giant Dipper. But on Monday, the convention moved on to Six Flags Magic Mountain. This 111-acre park is located in Southern California's beautiful Santa Clarita Valley. Exciting rides, beautiful landscaping, bountiful entertainment, and a laugh or two from some of Warner Brothers' favorite cartoon characters made for a wonderful day in the California sun. Magic Mountain's thrills range from the state-of-the-art looping and twisting Batman the Ride to the beautifully restored 1912 Philadelphia Toboggan Company carousel. Registration for this portion of the CoasterCon began early Monday morning. Many acers could be found here anticipating the morning's ERT while waiting their turn in line. Several television news cameras arrived to cover the event, adding to the excitement. When the gates opened, many Acers made their way to the park's newest coaster, Batman the Ride, for exclusive ride time. Entering into the Gotham City back lot, a coaster enthusiast begins to drink in all of the area's terrific theming. This ride's theming becomes more pronounced in the queue line as onlookers review what appears to have been a fight of superheroic proportions. But who can absorb all of the beautiful theming with the thought of riding this coaster first in their mind? An enthusiast dreams of those vertical loops, corkscrews, the 4G turn, and the amazing 255-foot-long 0G Heartline spin. Many Acers also enjoyed a continental breakfast in Gotham City before heading over to Colossus for some more ERT.
It's my favorite print. I was over here in
Please push down and pull up on your lap bar and exit to your right. Enjoy the rest of your stay here at home.
You guys going again?
Yeah. One more time.
How many times?
Fifth time.
In a row?
No, not in a row. No. 2 times in a row. No, 3 times in a row.
Excellent.
So start with the product. Here.
Sounds good to me.
holding the position. Great ride.
Colossus is truly one of America's most beautiful coaster structures. This International Amusement Devices twin-tracked, double-out and back Woody has remained a favorite among coaster lovers for 16 years. Riders are taken up the 115-foot lift hill and released to speeds up to 62 miles per hour through 4,325 feet of track and over 13 hills, 2 of which boast drops of more than 100 feet. Colossus is one of 2 wooden coasters in the world with 2 drops of this kind. Even with the removal of the double dip in 1991, this monstrous coaster has remained an ace favorite. Acers spent the rest of the day enjoying some of the other coasters here at beautiful Magic Mountain, like the Flashback. Manufactured by Intamin of Switzerland, this coaster's cars flash through 6 steeply banked hairpin drops, ending with a 540-degree upward spiral. Flashback can be considered somewhat nomadic. The ride was moved to its current location from Six Flags over Georgia, where it was known as the Z-Force. Before Georgia, the coaster made its home at Six Flags Great America in Illinois. Magic Mountain's suspended coaster, the Ninja, is the fastest coaster of its kind on the West Coast. Located on Samurai Summit and making good use of the area's topography, this aero-designed coaster can cruise at speeds of up to 55 miles per hour. With 2 lift hills and 2,700 feet of track, Ninja has the longest ride of any Magic Mountain coaster, clocking in at about 3 minutes and 30 seconds in its trip through mountains, trees, and over one of the park's lagoons. The Gold Rusher Mine Ride, the park's first roller coaster, has resided in the Monterey Landing section of Magic Mountain since 1971. This aero steel has 2 lifts and reaches speeds of 35 miles per hour, a thrill for amateur coaster enthusiasts and seasoned veterans alike. Magic Mountain's Cyclone, a Curtis Summers circa 1991 replica of the Cyclone in Coney Island, has some new twists of its own. Unlike other Cyclone clones, this coaster is not a mirror image of its namesake. One of the more notable differences is the 183-foot tunnel at the beginning of the ride. Other differences include fan turns, air brakes, and computer-controlled safety features, standards for theme park operation. Riders are towed up a 95-foot lift hill and released at speeds up to 50 miles per hour. 2.5 minutes of woody satisfaction. The Revolution, a looping speed racer from Anton Schwarzkopf, is the first modern roller coaster to boast a 360-degree loop. Built in 1976, the year of America's bicentennial, this coaster twists and turns through the park's woodsy hillsides, exquisitely following the contour of the land. Riders are brought up a 113-foot lift and whisked through the ride at 55 miles per hour. Not the fastest ride in the park, yet the Revolution remains a favorite among many coaster enthusiasts. It's a surprise that Magic Mountain's first aid stations were not overflowing with snakebite patients, considering all of the acers who caught viper fever at this year's convention. With 3 loops, a boomerang, a corkscrew helix, and 16 elevation changes, can you really blame them? This aerodynamics steel boasts a 171-foot maximum drop, 7 inversions, and speeds of up to 70 miles per hour. When Viper was installed in 1990, it was the largest looping coaster ever built. And although the race for higher hills and faster speeds has passed the Viper by, this coaster will always have a special place in the hearts of steel coaster fans worldwide. An afternoon of touring the grounds at Magic Mountain can really build an appetite. That's why everyone enjoyed the Ace Picnic held at the Grand Oak Picnic Pavilion. It's always a good time when acers gather together to talk about one of their favorite pastimes, eating. Oh yeah, and coasters too.
What was the ride of the day?
Well, I like Batman best because it's smooth. I was surprised at how smooth it was.
I think their whole setup on Batman was really impressive. They followed the mood, the theme, it's really of the movie, and it just all hung together really well, and the ride was spectacular.
I like the way they themed everything before you get into Gotham City. Even the bathrooms are themed before you get in there.
Batman is incredible. Very unique experience to be suspended below the track and your feet dangling free. I wear sandals everywhere I go, so I have to hold on to them so they don't end up coming off.
What's your secret of keeping your hat?
You put it on backwards and then you rest it against the seat back.
What was my favorite? Ninja. Enjoyed Ninja. Front seat, super ride.
Ninja. I think so far of all the coasters I rode, the Ninja's my favorite.
It was built into the mountaintop, and it was just a short lift, and you were already high up in the air as it was, so that's what just made it different, just the landscaping of it.
The Cyclone's an underrated roller coaster. I think it's one of the best rides here in the park.
The Cyclone. The Cyclone.
Yeah.
train.
It's the Gold Rusher.
My favorite thing was the monorail. We rode the monorail probably, gee, I don't know, 6 times, maybe 7 times. Just came off it. Just like the monorail.
I do like Colossus. It's an old shopping cart, but I mean, you know, it just, the feeling, it's there.
I stayed on the same train for over an hour this morning and during our ERT, and it was fantastic.
Colossus really moves. Yeah, it's awesome.
Viper. I love Viper. I love Viper.
Viper.
Viper?
Yeah.
Why?
It's fast.
This was pretty interesting, the Viper there. I kind of liked it. Yeah. I think I'd have to go for Viper.
After the picnic, Acers enjoyed evening ride time on Viper and Revolution.
Is this the ultimate line jumping?
Acers were ready to go bright and early Tuesday morning for exclusive ride time on Batman, The Ride, and Colossus.
How many times you guys ride this? 13. 13 just now or over both days?
My first time today. Batman about 10 times.
Talk to somebody. I talked to today. In a row?
Yeah.
Oh, grace.
Now, everyone knows that Acers love to ride coasters during exclusive ride time. But how about Acers who ride to love during ERT? Yes, Peter and Nancy Dunza reaffirmed their wedding vows in the station of Colossus and took a ride thereafter. Just goes to show you, marriage may have its ups and downs, but things always straighten out in the end. Acers did their best to fit in as many rides as possible in the last moments of the Magic Mountain portion of the convention. But today, it was off to Santa Cruz, and more importantly, the Santa Cruz Giant Dipper. ACE members were eager to register for the second half of the convention, starting at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk and continuing on to Paramount's Great America. As with the southern end of the convention, the registration hall was packed with interesting coaster collectibles and convention memorabilia. Everyone was excited about riding the Giant Dipper, but many took the time to admire some of the exciting photo contest entries. For many Acers, a stroll on the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk was like a trip in a time machine. The park was built in 1907, and much of the nostalgia from that era still remains. So much so that the park was made a State of California landmark in 1989. Take a walk down the boards and admire the entertainment. The rides, including a 1911 Loop Carousel, a national landmark. The shops, trinkets for young and old, and the food stands. Nothing like a cool drink on a hot day. A perfect blending of modern thrill and wholesome fun. Santa Cruz's Giant Dipper is another of the great Pryor and Church Woodies from the 20s, 1924 to be exact, only 1 year before the erection of her San Diego sister. The phenomenal maintenance of this ride has kept it tracking like a new coaster, not bad after 70 years. What is the Giant Dipper's best attribute? Some say it's the coaster's interesting multi-level design. Others enjoy its thrilling fan turns and brilliant pacing. Still others enjoy the seaside surroundings. Ask an acer, and you'll find that the Giant Dipper's best attribute is the coaster's relatively smooth track, which lets the rider enjoy all of those other great attributes over and over again without getting beaten up.
Giant Dipper in Santa Cruz. That is the ride. That was my first wooden coaster, so when I was a little kid, and that's still a great ride.
The airtime is incredible. I just love it, and it doesn't beat you up. You know, you can just ride it and ride it and ride it and ride it.
I like the airtime, and I like it being on the ocean. I love the ocean.
Santa Cruz's Giant Dipper became a national landmark in 1987. This assures that coaster enthusiasts will be pulled up that 70-foot lift and released down that 65-foot first drop at speeds of up to 55 miles per hour for years to come. Hold on to your hats, though. The ride's maintenance people have reported finding everything from sunglasses to bikini tops under the ride, including a glass eye, which has yet to be claimed. The Boardwalk's newest addition to its coaster family is the Hurricane. This German-designed steel coaster was erected in 1992 to replace the Jetstar, another twisting steel coaster which had graced the park for 20 years prior. Manufactured by SDC of Italy, the Hurricane, originally known as the Windstorm, boasts twists that bank up to 80 degrees and many high G-force turns, one as high as 4.7 Gs. Due to the coaster's relatively small overall area, the ride can be disorienting, with a surprise around every turn. Definitely the best Hurricane to ever hit the West Coast.
It's quite intense for a compact Steely.
Okay.
Pretty intense. We had a blood rush to the head when we got off of that.
Excellent. I mean, it's a miniature mind bender.
It's nice. It's a nice replacement for the Jetstar.
After an exciting day at the Boardwalk, Acers gathered at the Giant Dipper to take a group photo. Oh no, the worst possible conflict for an ACE member. Dinner and ERT starting at the same time. To eat or not to eat? That is the question. Well, one walk past the wonderful layout courtesy of the Boardwalk, and Acers found the answer. Eat quickly and ride as much as possible.
Possibly the youngest coaster enthusiast. Someone tell me I'm hungry. You have a little operation here in town. I see that. Straight from riding to eating. Back one of the guys.
Wednesday night's ERT was one of the most flat-out fun nights in ACE history. Many Acers began the evening on the Giant Dipper, while others began the night riding the bumper cars or the Hurricane. Wherever the start, the end result was the time of a life.
You just rode the Giant Dipper. Where are you going? We're going down here to ride some more.
One Hurricane and come back. See you later.
Wait, what
Thursday morning ERT was restricted to the Giant Dipper, but no complaints were heard. Everyone loves to ride this classic Woody again and again. Thursday's speakers and presenters were as interesting and informative as any in the past. An important announcement concerning both Morgan Manufacturing and Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters was made early in the presentations.
Well, this afternoon we made the announcement that Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters, Inc. has acquired the rights and all the assets to the Morgan manufacturing of the wooden roller coaster vehicles. And we feel that this is going to be a big plus for us, picking up another division in different types of cars, and also being able to serve the amusement industry in both capacities for traditional style cars and a fiberglass style car, giving them the preference of choice.
What could this mean to the roller coaster rider? Well, historically, Morgan trains have been known to be somewhat restrictive due to Dana Morgan's dedication to ride safety. Tom Rebbe speaks about a new type of safety lap bar which will allow an enthusiast to get more thrills per foot in a coaster ride.
We've had a lot of feedback from coaster enthusiasts and some of the parks who said that the bars tightened down too tight on their patrons. And we took a step back and we started looking at how to redesign it, and we figured another way of doing it. Now the lap bars, as we call them, ratchet down and they stop. And once they will not go past that point. So it should be a more comfortable ride for all shapes and sizes of people.
Next, Ann Parker from Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk had some fun facts concerning the history of the boardwalk and the amusements found there.
My favorite ride is the Giant Dipper, hands down. The carousel is close behind. The Hurricane comes a little bit further along because there's something about the nostalgia of those two rides and the fact that they have been maintained the way that they have that really makes an impression with me. And I think, too, that maybe is the magic of the boardwalk. I've been to a number of parks now. I know that you've been to a number of parks, and I'd love to hear about this afterwards if you agree with me. But I think that there is a certain magic to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, and it is the blending of the past and the present and a sense of the future to come.
In keeping with the California coasting theme of this year's convention, Jeff Stanton, author of the book Venice, California, Coney Island of the Pacific, gave an informative history of the Santa Monica and Venice piers.
And in 1887, Lamarcus Thompson's company came out and they built this little scenic railroad. Basically why it was done is that on this left-hand side was a railroad depot, and they had to get the people over to the right-hand side, so they transported them across on this scenic railroad.
ACE's own Terry Lind gave a presentation on Cedar Point's inverted coaster. A picture paints 1,000 words. Everyone knows that Raptor rules the sky. Ace's own Rick Turner then showed an exciting video about the thrill of steel coasters.
I grew up in Southern California in the 60s and 70s, and there really weren't any wood coasters around the LA area. And the Pacific Ocean Park was there, and the Pike was there, but my parents, like most parents in the 50s or 60s, chose to go to Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland instead, because that's clean, wholesome fun, and most of the other families made the same choice, which is why the Pike and Gil Peter aren't around anymore, at least part of the reason. But my first ride was on the Matterhorn. I was a little kid, and I looked at this huge mountain, and oh my God, how can they do that? How are they not running into the rocks? Oh my God, they crashed into the lake. And I was sure, the handles, the original handles on the Matterhorn were on the outside of the car. I didn't dare put my hands out there because I knew I was going to scrape my knuckles off on the rocks. Well, anyway, I've developed a tremendous love of steel roller coasters. And this movie traces the history of the steel coaster and is dedicated to the freedom that you used to feel on the Revolution, in the hopes that Magic Mountain will spend an afternoon with a screwdriver and turn it back into the top 10 coaster that it once was.
Following the presentations, the ACE officer candidate speeches were held. Position hopefuls revealed their platforms, and a question and answer period was held, allowing ACErs to get to know their future leaders. This year's annual business meeting covered a wide array of topics. Some of the items on the agenda included coaster restorations, organizing the ACE archives, and updating the ACE Guide to Ride. Each executive member gave a preview of what is in the future for ACE, as well as giving summaries of important events in the last year. ACE President Ray Uberoth also made remarks thanking ACE for the opportunities the past 4 years have given him.
My first event as president was the fall 1990 conference at Magic Mountain and San Diego, and we celebrated the reopening of that great coaster in San Diego. And my last event as president will be this August at Great Escape, and lo and behold, we're going to celebrate the reopening of the Crystal Beach Common. So for being president during those 4 years, I thank you for that opportunity, especially the way I started and the way I ended. And I hope it's been a great 4 years for ACE, regardless of who the president was. I just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thursday evening played host to the ACE banquet at Coconut Grove. Everyone enjoyed a delicious meal while anxiously awaiting the evening's activities. ACE President Ray Uberoth began with some opening remarks.
Well, good evening, everybody. We're ready to start our program. I know that some of you are still in the dessert line, and that's fine. You'll be able to hear us and see us up here. We have many, many activities for the banquet this evening and many guests that I would like you to meet. Most of you were seated at tables when I came around with our plaques. I'm very happy to tell you that the plaques arrived in San Diego, and we Federal Expressed them up to Santa Cruz, so we have them. The first person I would like to call to the podium is Ed Hutton from the San Diego Coaster Company. Ed, would you come up, please? Ed talked to us on Saturday night in San Diego, and I wanted to make this presentation to him Saturday night in San Diego, but I couldn't. This is an event plaque to the San Diego Coaster Company. ACE salutes you for your commitment to the Belmont Park Giant Dipper and thanks you for being co-host of our annual convention. ACE appreciates the many courtesies you have extended to our members over the years. Thank you for supporting ACE and for being a gracious and generous host as we gathered to celebrate ACE's 17th annual convention on the San Diego Giant Dipper, American Coaster Enthusiast, June 1994.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Okay, I would like to call up the lady you heard talk this afternoon from Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, Ann Parker. Where is she, Ann? There she is. Come on, Ann. And this is also an event plaque to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. ACE salutes you for your commitment to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk Giant Dipper and thanks you for being co-host of our annual convention. We appreciate the many courtesies you have extended to our members over the years. Thank you for supporting ACE and for being a gracious and generous host as we gathered to celebrate ACE's 17th annual convention.
Thank you so much.
Tom Rebbe of Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters presented this year's PTC Spirit of Ace Award to a well-deserving Marty Moltz.
A couple years ago when we first came up with this, we thought of, as many of you know, how can we come back and thank the people of ACE for all your support to us. And one of those small ways we can do that is singling out someone who has, we feel, helped promote roller coasters, especially ours. And also just to have a spirit to pass on to other people. He does a lot for roller coasters. He's always talking about it. He takes his vacations around them. He's always pushing people to join ACE. And I wish I could remember everything else that Wayne wrote to me about him, but I can't remember everything. I guess the best thing to do is just ask him to come up here. And first off, before we do that, I'd really like to apologize to everyone, because you're probably going to have to listen to his jokes. Marty?
This is a surprise. Your turn. My turn. Well, I can honestly say I certainly was not expecting this. Again, what can I say? But I'm really surprised, and I want to thank everybody, and especially PTC and Tom Rebbe, and I'll try to keep on with the jokes. Oh, all right, I won't.
Edgar Morgan and Carl Bacon, major contributors to the invention of tubular coaster track, were made honorary members of ACE. Mr. Morgan accepted the honors.
I would like to read for you the citation on the plaque. American coaster enthusiasts are pleased to recognize Edgar Morgan as an honorary member. ACE salutes Edgar Morgan for his historic role in the development of steel roller coasters. Edgar Morgan worked with Carl Bacon to develop the modern tubular steel track for use on the 1959 Matterhorn bobsled at Disneyland in California. As a result, the history of the development of the roller coaster was changed forever. In the 35 years since the introduction of the contemporary tubular steel track, coaster designers have used the track to take roller coaster riders reeling through realms unheard of only a generation ago. ACE is pleased to recognize Edgar Morgan, a man who helped to change the history of contemporary amusement parks, and to declare him an honorary member, June 9, 1994. Mr. Morgan?
Excuse me, I would have to say that this is quite an honor. I certainly appreciate it, and I'm sure that my friend and associate of approximately 50 years would feel the same way.
1994 made way for a new ACE Coaster Recognition Award, the Golden Age Roller Coaster Award. This award goes to coasters built in the 1920s, when the main purpose of brakes was to allow people to get off at the end of the ride. What coasters could be better to receive this award than the California Dippers in Santa Cruz and San Diego?
The Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk Giant Dipper, and we had one of the best times ever last night on that ride. And I'm not just saying that either. ACE recognizes the Giant Dipper as a historic golden age roller coaster. The 1924 Giant Dipper represents the very best in classic wooden roller coaster design. The compact, multi-level course, the exciting fan turns, the excellent pacing, the unusual tunnel, which smells right. You know what I mean? The grease, the oil, the sweat, the dank odor. That's how a tunnel is supposed to smell. Anyway, the unusual tunnel and the beautiful seaside setting all provide an outstanding experience for the rider. ACE salutes the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk for preserving and maintaining this magnificent American treasure for future generations to enjoy. There you go. The Belmont Park Giant Dipper. ACE recognizes the Belmont Park Giant Dipper as a historic golden age roller coaster. The 1925 Giant Dipper represents the very best in classic wooden roller coaster design. The complex spiraling twists and drops, the unrelenting power, the minimum use of straight track, and the superior profile all provide an outstanding experience for the rider. ACE salutes the San Diego Coaster Company and its role in saving and maintaining this magnificent American treasure for future generations to enjoy.
Ed Hutton of the San Diego Coaster Company remained on stage to deliver this year's keynote speech. What better way to find out about the history of the San Diego Coaster Company and the Santa Cruz Seaside Coaster Company than firsthand from a major player in both companies?
This is our 6th annual convention, and Ed fits right into the pattern of all of our keynote speakers. The very first one in 1989 was Robert Ott at Dorney Park, and you all know Robert Ott. At 1990 down to Texas, it was Robert Bennett from Six Flags Over Texas. The following year at Kennywood in 91, it was Andy Quinn. 1992 at the King's Dominion Convention, it was John Pierce. Last year at Worlds of Fun, at our 15th anniversary banquet, we had our ACE historian Robert Cartmel give the keynote speech. And I think in the tradition of all those speakers, Ed Hutton fits very well. Not only is he associated still with the San Diego coaster, but for many, many years he was also associated with Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Even though he has retired from that position, I think that anything he would have to say to Acers is well worth hearing, and that's why we didn't even give him a topic tonight. So welcome, please, Ed Hutton.
Well, I again want to welcome you. I was fortunate enough to welcome you last Saturday afternoon. It seems a little strange. I just left this company 2.5 months ago. I was here 13 years as the general manager, a great 13 years. I had a good time working for this company. It's a great company and one of the most, traditional parks in the country. You must be having a good time overall with this weather. I mean, to start off in San Diego, I know you had to go to that park inland down the road, Magic Mountain. And, they may have a lot of coasters, right? But do they have the sun, the fun, the ocean, the beach? None of that. Or some of you folks call it the shore, don't you? But anyway, we're glad to have you both in San Diego, and we're glad to have you here on the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. and really a true welcome on my behalf and all of us here in the Santa Cruz area. Santa Cruz is a well-established amusement park, going back here with a couple beach houses in 1885 and starting an amusement park at least by 1907 and running continuously right up to today, where Belmont Park started many years later. It started in 1925 and it died in 1976. It was closed, it was a mess and not very attractive, and then this developer did open the specialty center up in 1980, and our coaster opened up, and that gives you a little different, it gives a little different atmosphere, and you have tradition here going at the Boardwalk, a continuous operating amusement park versus, in a way, a new entity down there that's more of a specialty center than an amusement park. Will there be growth down there as far as an amusement park? Most likely not. About a 99% chance that will not turn back into an amusement park. Just the way it's come down over the years, the neighbors in the city would probably never have it. We might be able sometime to add 1 or 2 kiddie rides, but you won't see any more coasters there, or particularly any more rides. Maybe 1 or 2 kiddie rides, like I said. Is it the greatest coaster ever made? Probably not. Is it the fastest, tallest, scariest in operation today? I don't think so. No to all the above. But I'll tell you this, it's the fastest, tallest, scariest, best roller coaster in San Diego.
After Ace honored some of the leading contributors to this year's convention with Ace t-shirts, the 1994 photo contest winners were announced. Rick Turner took first place with his photo of Magic Mountain's Viper, followed by Mark Persick's photo of the San Diego Giant Dipper. Third place was awarded to Augie Geist for his photo of Cedar Point's Raptor. This year's Ace auction offered a variety of collectible coaster artifacts, raising $560 for the Ace Preservation Fund. Many Acers remained for the reconvening of the 1994 business meeting, while some hurried home to rest up for the next day's trip to Santa Clara. Friday led way to the final stop on Ace's tour of California, Paramount's Great America. Founded in 1976, Great America's name has ties to the celebration of our nation's bicentennial. Since Paramount's purchase of King's Entertainment Company in 1992, the park has taken on an interesting blend of motion picture, television, and publishing themes. From the relentless excitement of Top Gun to the indoor marvel of the new Days of Thunder racing simulator, excitement can be found in every corner of the park. One might even run into a character from the acclaimed Star Trek series and strike up a conversation.
Our concept is, it's a good day to die. It's a good day to celebrate. It's a good day to have fun, yes. And a roller coaster, for me, gives me that stimulation.
Great America's entrance is one of the most beautiful in the country. The Columbia Carousel stands tall at one end of a small lake. This double-decked classic is listed in the Guinness Book as the tallest carousel in the world, and who would argue? The park also houses a beautiful 1918 Philadelphia Toboggan Company carousel located in the county fair section of the park. Acers arrived early to the park to enjoy ERT on all of Great America's exciting coasters. Many members could be seen headed toward Top Gun for first rides of the day. Camera crews were on hand to capture an interview or two with coaster enthusiasts. What was on their minds? Well, Top Gun, of course.
I got to dry my hair on a coaster again. It's the only way to do it. Actually, it's very good. It's very smooth, very fast, sustains its speed all the way through. No jerkiness. Just a slight bump to the side and you go into the elements. It's great.
I like this, believe it or not. It's not a clone of another ride. It's original, it's refreshing. I love when it goes over the water.
Top Gun, another member of the new family of B&M inverted looping coasters, was a favorite among many Ace members. The coaster's theming is naval aircraft related, with direct ties to the successful Paramount film Top Gun. A radar dish beckons riders through the queue line and into the elaborate station. Here, ride operators sporting aviator jumpsuits lead excited enthusiasts into the cockpits of this twisting and looping flying machine. A salute from the tower, and we're off. Top Gun travels at speeds up to 50 miles per hour, with 3 inversions in its approximately 2.5-minute run that includes a quick pass over a small lake. The concrete that supports the ride runs 70 feet deep. The park claims that the depth of the concrete is simply following Northern California construction codes. But it's possible that they are afraid the ride just may fly away on its own accord. The Demon, Great America's double-looping corkscrew steel coaster, is located in the county fair section of Great America. This aero development ride originally opened under the name Turn of the Century in 1976. In 1980, the ride was extensively refurbished. The 2 hills which formerly followed the first drop were removed, and 2 loops were added. Also, during this period, a tunnel and special effects were added, completing the overall effect. The Blue Streak is Great America's kid-sized coaster. This downsized steel was designed by Intamin AG and moved to California from the now-closed Hanna-Barbera land. The Blue Streak may be a children's coaster, but check the ride's queue line, and you'll probably find an adult coaster enthusiast waiting to act as chaperone for a child who wants a ride on this short but exciting coaster. Children's ride? Phooey. Face it, the ride is fun. The Grizzly is the park's only wooden coaster. It is a combined product of Curtis D. Summers and King's Entertainment Company. Based on the late great Wildcat of Cincinnati's Coney Island, this coaster is the largest Woody in Northern California. Although the coaster is a mirror image of the Coney Island ride, Great America has tamed the ride a bit to make it family-oriented. The Grizzly is 90 feet tall at the top of its first summit and can cruise at speeds up to 50 miles per hour. The wood for the structure of the ride is entirely Douglas fir from Oregon, with 3,200 feet of track. A good all-around ride for Woody lovers. Great America's Vortex is the only stand-up coaster west of the Mississippi River. This ride twists and turns and loops its way through the hometown square area of the park. Designed by B&M, the ride takes passengers up a 91-foot lift hill and releases them at speeds of up to 45 miles per hour through a loop and a single corkscrew. Another great B&M coaster to steal your heart away. Friday afternoon's picnic provided some time for Acers to escape from the hot California sun and sit down for a bite in the shade. Top Gun was on the tip of many tongues as Acers discussed the adventures they had while coasting through Paramount's Great America.
Ride of the day has to be Top Gun. Yep, no doubt.
Top Gun. Yeah, those rides, those inverted loops where you're hanging there with your feet loose are something else.
I like Top Gun a lot. It was a great way to start the morning. A lot of fun.
How was the ride, Peter?
Fantastic. I'm going to get in line again. Top Gun is tops in this park.
I like the corkscrew. I like the corkscrew.
So now that was pretty smooth. Really nice corkscrew. I mean, you know, really interesting going through it fairly slow.
Did you ride the Blue Streak?
Yeah, that's a fun kiddie coaster. I like that. I don't always go on kiddie coasters, but that one's good, you know.
Yeah, the Blue Streak was wonderful. It's like a mini Magnum. It was really great.
In all the coasters you've ridden, which one's your favorite?
I think the Blue Streak is.
Not vertical, please. Don't look through it. Come to full split comes at that time. You'll have to be able to right down the ramp and into the woods. Please remember to take all loose articles with you and enjoy the rest of your day here at Paramount Great America.
I thought the Grizzly was running good today. I like the ride overall. Definitely different in different seats that you sit in. Great ride to take pictures on too.
Grizzly's fine. I like it. I like wood coasters, and the wood, I like to hear the clacky clack and all the, you know, the little rackety of it, experience on the wood.
the Vortex. It's just the intensity just never lets up. There's a lot of twists and turns, and they follow one right into another. It's really intense.
Well, I got a ride on the front, the middle, and the back. You know, early this morning was great. Great ride so far. Good, smooth B&M design. You did a great job.
And your feet.
So far, this will be my first time in the Vortex, but so far so good.
It was dynamite. Great ride.
I have with us a representative from Paramount's Great America, and in spite of the weather, are you having a good time so far? Melissa was supposed to be at our banquet last night, but she was not able to make it down there, so I'm glad she's with us today. And on behalf of ACE, I'd like to present Paramount's Great America with a plaque. And it says, ACE salutes Paramount's Great America for your commitment to roller coasters. We commend you for the variety of coasters you offer to your guests, from the traditional wooden coaster to the contemporary steel coaster. ACE appreciates your support and the many courtesies you have extended to our members over the years. Thank you for supporting ACE and for being a gracious and generous host as we gather to celebrate ACE's 17th annual convention. Melissa, thank you.
Great America's ACE photo was held at the Grizzly. Getting this many Acers in one place at one time is sure to be a good time.
I'm a medical examiner. I work with bodies and bones for a living, so you know what better shirt for a coroner who likes roller coasters than this?
There you go. And I'm a pharmacist, so hopefully I won't make anybody dead.
And St. Peter says, we've had many popes and holy men. We've never had a lawyer before. Thank you, fans. My two fans.
Well, all good things must come to an end. And after enjoying Saturday's ERT on Top Gun and Vortex, Acers began to say goodbye to California and the state's wonderful collection of roller coasters. It's hard to believe that this year's convention is over, but for years to come, stories will be told along the fault line about the year the big one hit. CoasterCon 17. California coasting will never be the same.